and welcome back to RazorActive. And now we're going to be speaking about Japan, the last Asian survivor in the World Cup. So, as these two fatigued men next to me will know, Japan is the only Asian team left in the World Cup. Now, why do you guys think that's happened?
Basically, I think Denmark didn't play up to their expectations. After all, during the qualifiers, they beat Brazil home and away. But somehow in South Africa, they might not be able to adapt to the climate, to the altitude, and maybe perhaps missing some of the form players are missing their form.
So do you think a lot of the Asian teams are suffering because of the altitude? Do you think it affects Asian teams at all? I mean, a lot of people grumble about the altitude, you know, the Jabulani bola, blah, blah, blah. But so far, none of the Asian teams have actually made any of those complaints.
Well, perhaps like some of the South Korean players and the staff and the officials, they said that they actually spend more time practicing with the new Jabulani ball. Yeah, so perhaps that's why they say that there's no issues with that.
But yet they still did not progress. Why?
Well, I think, for me, I find Japan interesting in that they're a bit more varied than South Korea was. They were able to play different types of games within a 90-minute span. Where, say, for example, the Japan-Holland game, that was very interesting for me because they were able to play very cautiously, defensively tight. And then when you look at their previous games, they were able to attack with a lot of flair and excitement. So I think Okada, the coach, has done a very interesting thing where he has made Japan a very adaptable team where they adapt to each different game, each different situation. If you look at a lot of the European teams,
like
even
England.
the European giants and all that, a lot of them just went there and said, look, this is the way we're going to play and we're going to keep playing that way until the end, even if we have to wait until the last minute. But I think Japan sort of did the switching and all that, seems to have worked. And in Keisuke Honda, for me, he has that attitude. You need a bit of that arrogance.
Bad boy image, huh?
Yeah.
A bit of the Manchester United.
I'm sorry, you're more like what? Hidetoshi Nakata style?
Yeah.
How's that?
Exactly. You have to have a bit of the Manchester United arrogance, is it? I mean,
he does have that right mix of arrogance and the skill that's needed. I mean, what he did in the previous game, that was fantastic. You know, the free kick.
Very similar to how he scored for CSK Moscow, his club side.
Yeah.
Now, Bruce, I wanted to ask, you actually were pretty disappointed with both the Korean teams. Why?
Why? Well, you can't really expect much from the North Korea, the Democratic Republic of Korea side, because
we don't know anything about that.
Yeah, apart from their so-called Asians version of Wayne Rooney. What's his name? I have no idea. So sorry about that. Okay,
Jong Tae-se, right?
Yeah, but for South Korea, I'm a little bit disappointed in the sense that they had big match pedigree in some of the players. Some of the players are actually playing in Europe as well. Like, for example, the captain Park Ji-sung playing for Manchester United and Park Chu-yong playing for Bolton Wanderers and such. So, yes, it's very disappointing for South Koreans, and they might, like I said earlier, they might have issues with the climate.
Now, of course, Japan definitely celebrated really big and hard. Now, Australia is considered Asia in this World Cup. What are your thoughts?
The aging team is basically the backbone of this year's World Cup team is the same as 4 years ago. So it's not surprising that they couldn't last the pace. And considering that their first two matches, they are playing most of the time with 10 men, it's not surprising that they are out in the group stages.
Do you think they should even have been considered Asia?
Well, I think that was a big debate at the start before they got into AFC. But AFC welcomed them as a way to increase the sense of competition for the Asian teams. It might work
to improve the competitive levels within Asia.
It might work in that sense for Asian nations, but I think they also, it was to Australia's detriment, I think, because they didn't find the competition that they needed to keep themselves sharp for this level. So they might have breezed through it, Asia, but it didn't help them in the end. So I'm not sure.
But then again, if you think about it, if let's say they go back to Oceania level, it's even worse because the only strong team in Oceania level would be the Kiwis.
That's true,
New Zealand, but
Until they
Also-
come
wouldn't
till
be
the
of
end.
much help at all.
Until they come till the end where the playoff where they might meet again, Uruguay and all that. So
And then they'll die.
yeah.
So, yeah.
So it boils down to only just one match, whereas in Asia they have plenty of match practices.
Yeah.
Okay, so now with Japan being the only Asian one left, how do you think you're going to fare? Last words from both of you.
Sadly, I think their adventure will end in the round of 16 because I think Paraguay had so much quality in them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I personally hope they will make it through. And I really want to see how Okada does his tactical switches. If Kaisuke, Honda, and they have so many players there who are up for the game. They smell some blood, but I think tactically, if they can pull it off, I'd really love to see them.
But remember, Japan hasn't
Yeah.
met any of the South American teams yet, where the South American teams are more famous for their vicious tackling. Whereas in their group, Cameroon, Denmark,
Yeah.
and Holland,
Yeah.
they're more of tactical plays and strategies.
More technical, whereas the rest are more
Yes.
flair.
Yeah.
So against South American teams, if they come against a hard wall, they might crumble.
That's true, yeah.
Well, we wish them definitely the best of luck. Good luck, Japan. We will know the results by tomorrow by the time.
Ganbatte.
Ganbatte yo!
Hey!